Hey there and welcome back to XCOM 2. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of our Legend Ironman walkthrough of XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. Last time we left off after a mission that saw us take a few steps towards several achievements, and afterwards we also finished studying the Codex Brain for a bit more plot progression. At the moment we are also in the middle of scanning an alien wreckage for alloys and delirium crystals, so let's keep doing that to start things off here today. Alright, and there we are with a good chunk of fresh new materials. And speaking of which, let's fly over to the black market now. That's a place we have not yet visited this month.
Avenger plotting new course.
Now, as we can see, the market is interested in sectoid corpses, laser sights and advanced laser sights, and after quickly consulting my notes here, we can get rid of all but 5 sectoid corpses, and we will also sell off 2 of our 3 laser sights, but for the purposes of switching them around, it's always good to have a few weak ones on hand, so we'll keep the one here just in case, although now that I'm editing this, it does feel a bit too cautious, so I'll probably end up selling it next episode. Speaking of that, for that next episode, I would also once again like to hear what you think we should buy from the black market. As you can see, there are a few more superior attachments available here, as well as a major rank ranger and information on the warlock. All in all, a few intriguing things here, so do let me know if there's anything you think we should buy. And just like that, we have made it to today's mission, so let's find out what awaits us in this month's Guerilla Ops. First things first, we have New Brazil, a mission that we will most likely skip. The dark event here is not too threatening and this would also be a guaranteed run-in with the warlock, and doing all of that just for supplies, I think we can do better. The sitrep would of course be a moderate advantage, but still, let's look at New Chile next. This one would also have us meet the warlock, but this time in exchange for intel and for countering a very annoying dark event, a 50% decrease to our next supply drop that would definitely be noticeable, although considering the amount of money we just made from the black market, I think we could live with it. And so I actually think that this right here in Eastern Europe will be today's mission. No Chosen on this one, but plenty of enemies still. But we would also be able to recruit a major rank ranger, and this is actually a crucial little detail, the mission takes place on the Advent train map, a map that usually features turrets, and so far we have not actually been able to bring back a turret rack, which is something we definitely want to do soon, as an entire new facility is actually locked behind studying that wreckage.
Setting course for Eastern European Ward.
For our squad then, we are bringing a healthy mix, nothing too unusual. After leveling her up to Colonel, we bring Sharpshooter West out into the field with us, alongside Warhawk, Reaper, Sleeper, Typhoon, Zucchini and Julian. In Julian's case, you can also see he has recovered a good number of hit points since the last mission. I actually wanted him to start with less than half of his full health today, but I completely forgot that you can actually turn off repairing your sparks, and so Julian will begin today's mission in slightly better shape than I had hoped, so we'll have to wait just a little bit longer to unlock the corresponding achievement.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Menace ready to deploy.
We've been tracking a weak Advent signal moving through this region. It looks like a data vault, probably stowed aboard one of their trains. Initial analysis suggests the data may be tied to the aliens' latest project, so we're moving in to lock it down. Secure the AO and remove any hostile forces protecting the train. Then seize the assets by whatever means necessary. Menace 1-5, we've got a bead on the Advent data vault near your position. Be advised, self-detonating charges are in place at the target. Move to disarm and extract the package before its contents are destroyed.
Alright, here we go. I'm actually not entirely sure if we have played a mission like this before. As you can see, we have the Advent train right ahead of us in the fog of war, as well as the target package somewhere further along it. Now, contrary to what Bradford said, we don't actually need to get close to that to pick it up physically. We can also hack it from afar with either Zucchini or Julian. So let's get to it. Our first move here with Reaper Sleeper does not yet reveal anything. So let's keep going, which then also gives us something more to work with.
I am on the move. The time for hiding is over.
Alright, so that's quite a few enemies we detect here with this move. A lone chrysalid, an Archon and a shield bearer, as well as 2 turrets on top of the train. And I think we also very briefly saw another Advent pod further in the back by the package. These turrets, by the way, are not counted in the number of enemies presented to us by the Shadow Chamber prior to the mission. So while I am glad they're here for the aforementioned reasons, it means we will now have to defeat 17 instead of 15 enemies. So I would say let's get our squad into position to do exactly that. For now, we can just dash forward here, and I think we'll then engage on the next turn.
They keep these trains running around the clock, but you'll never see them loading or unloading any cargo. At least not where anyone can see it.
I will always find you.
Alright, so to get us started with the enemy turn, Archon and shield bearer are moving over to the right and do not really get closer to us. The chrysalid, meanwhile, actually retreats and then burrows down, so we want to keep that spot in mind as we advance. Still advancing we will, albeit just a tiny bit. As you can see, this does not get us close enough to trigger the burrow overwatch, and so we can now move Julian and Zucchini into position and then start combat. Sporting the Dark Claw, Sapphire West should do some good damage against the turret here.
Hostile target down. Cover blown.
Alright, a critical hit for the instant kill. I had not expected that. Looks like we are off to a great start, and let's see if we can make it even better. As we do have a second turret still standing, and for this one I have something different in mind. Let's see if Specialist Zucchini can't take control of it. Now obviously the success chance of this will be rather low, after all Zucchini is no Van Dyke. Still, if it doesn't succeed we can just take it out the old-fashioned way, but if it does we might just be able to obtain ourselves another achievement. Alright, and that succeeds, which means we now have control of this turret for the duration of 5 turns, which in turn now also reveals plenty more enemies, but, and this is the lovely part here, it does not activate them. And doing a quick count of what we can see here, we have now actually revealed 7 additional enemies, including another chrysalid on the roof. We'll have to see whether or not that one burrows down too.
I guess that'll be okay.
For the time being, though, it is most likely a good idea not to engage any of them, and so we are now just moving into overwatching positions here, and then we can set up a kill zone with Sapphire West. Considering that she has squad sight, she will be able to use her entire magazine.
My turn on watch.
So I can attack anything that passes by.
The Archon is then the first enemy to move, and that means it's go time. Let's see what our new turret ally here can do. Alright, that's a miss, unfortunate but not unexpected. At this point though our squad is up and they will most likely do a bit better.
I'll quit when I've made a mistake.
Julian of course once again misses, and things do get worse as the Archon flanks Celica and now reveals our Reaper.
Deflection! The armor saved them. We left the flank open!
Alright, so far so good, both enemies are still standing. But we are not done yet, at least Miss West isn't, even though I do question her aiming methods here.
Hit the armor!
Still, her shots connect, and with that, Mech and Purifier here are looking vulnerable as well, especially with the Purifier moving into a spot where they can easily be flanked. The chrysalid, meanwhile, apparently still not activated by all of this. At least it doesn't go for the attack right away. Instead, it does seem a bit undecided about what to do. And so at this point we have 4, maybe 5 enemies if we're counting the chrysalid to worry about. All of them moderately well injured, so I think this should be doable.
Oh yeah!
So the first thing we'll do here after reloading Alyssa's Darklands is to move her up, as well as Julian and Warhog. And then, since Reaper Sleeper is already revealed, let's have her open fire against the Archon. Alright, only 4 points of damage and no kill, but that was actually guaranteed to happen. And it also works perfectly for what we have planned, as we are now hoping to unlock an achievement for killing an enemy with a hacked turret, and all we have to do for that is to have our turret hit the 55%er here. Unfortunately though that misses, but as you can see in the bottom left corner, this is a super heavy turret. and that means it can fire twice per turn. So let's see if we get lucky on attempt number 2. And there we go, that is the Stop Hitting Yourself achievement unlocked. The Archon also drops some loot that is picked up immediately, 2 Elerium cores and a superior repeater. So far, I have to say, we are off to a good start, and the turret even earns itself an ability point on top of it all. Obviously, this one will now be added to the XCOM pool. Now moving on, it's time for Sapphire West to take 2 pistol shots against the shield bearer. The first with lightning hands, and after that one misses, another regular one. Now that one misses too, but at least it destroys the shield bearer's cover, and we will get back to them in just a moment, but for now let's have Julian clear out the purifier.
Efficiency is my specialty. I'll be down to just this soon.
Up next then we can move up with Typhoon, who has a guaranteed shot against the shield bearer, as well as a 40% chance to crit. And thankfully the crit chance comes through and we rack up another kill, which leaves us now with Zucchini and his combat protocol, which, as you can see, is guaranteed to take out the mech as well. And there we are. With that, Zucchini also earns himself the promotion to captain. And just like that, we have dealt with all enemies but the chrysalid. So we are ending the turn on Overwatch here. Our turret and Julian are both positioned as bait, so I'm not too worried. First of all, though, we discover 2 more enemies, a Viper and a Spectre, and shortly after, just as I had expected, the chrysalid makes its move, which prompts Ranger Warhawk to take a reaction shot. Now, unfortunately that misses, but luckily we have hacked that turret, which now, thanks to 4 points of armor, only takes 2 points of damage and also draws the chrysalid in much closer. Further in the back, meanwhile, we can see an absolute congregation of enemies, all of them huddled closely around our package as well as next to an explosive container on top of the train, so we might be able to use that to our advantage, unless of course we do something stupid first. And, well, you can see it here, that's exactly what I did. Yes, I completely forgot about the chrysalid here, completely wasted Celica's only use of the shadow mode ability, and we don't even get punished for it as the chrysalid somehow misses its attack. Still, Reaper Sleeper is now revealed, again, and that also means that we have that trio of Advent soldiers now activate, although thankfully they don't really leave their position next to the explosive, well, all but the officer here, who moves into a bit of a safe distance. So, talk about an avoidable complication, this one here definitely one of those. Still, we're not out of options, so let's get to it. And let's begin by activating Julian's overdrive. Now, the first thing we're going to do here with him is to take aim at the chrysalid. At least for now, his hit chance is still guaranteed. Afterwards, we can then quickly reload. And blow up the explosive next. For this one there is no hit chance, and with 8 points of damage minimum, its destruction is guaranteed.
Menace 1-5, this is Avenger. We have positive confirmation of the target package. Move to acquire.
Alright, so we have line of sight at the package, and Stun Lancer and Shield Bearer already injured. Spectre and Viper meanwhile have not yet noticed us. So let's start cleaning house, and once again we'll go to our turret first. We've got 2 70%ers against the officer, and with a turret that is about as good as it gets. Right, so both shots connect, one with a crit, the other one unfortunately dodged, and we'll get back to the Advent soldiers in just a moment. For now, let's have Alyssa take aim at the chrysalid with her pistol. Alright, 6 points of damage, but of course we're not done yet. At this point it's time to activate Serial, which means that every kill she now gets with her sniper rifle will refund her actions, and both of the injured chrysalids here make for very good first targets.
X-ray neutralized.
Conveniently enough, the officer also only has 8 hit points left, so that's a guaranteed kill as well.
Target eliminated.
Although at this point we have unfortunately run out of targets,
Ready to go.
so we'll have Sapphire West get in a free reload, then we can pull Celica back out of the danger zone and put the rest of the squad on Overwatch. The shield bearer then moves first, but that is of little concern for now. As expected, they don't attack and just deploy their energy shield. The stun lancer meanwhile does attack, but once again only targets our turret, and with that our overwatches also activate. Alright, I guess that's no more stun lancer, critical hit on the overwatch by Zucchini here. At this point though, Spectre and Viper make their moves, and while the Spectre just decides to vanish for now, the Viper takes aim, but once again only at our turret with expectable results.
Menace 1-5, the clock is ticking. That detonator isn't going to wait. Get to the vault and disarm it before we run out of time.
So, with only 3 turns left on the timer, Bradford is getting anxious, but considering the size of the map and the fact that we have a specialist with us, that is plenty of time in my opinion. So let's stay focused on our enemies for now. Once again, we'll have our turret go first. And that's 5 points of damage against the Viper, beautiful. And with a bit of luck, Julian can now take it out of the fight for good. And yes, how totally unexpected for him to miss an 85%er. Let's move in with Reaper Sleeper now to hopefully clean up the remaining hit points. And there we go. Up next we can now move in with Ranger Warhawk and deploy a Frost Bomb, because I would like to skull mine the shield bearer, and for that they need to survive for one more turn, as Zucchini is unfortunately not yet in range. So after dashing up with our specialist, we can then also have Alyssa take aim at the turret. Yes, it is technically still ours, but not for long.
Target neutralized.
Beautiful, that's the turret dealt with, we now no longer need it. And of course, this does not count as losing a soldier, so we are still on the right track in terms of that particular achievement. On the enemy turn then, the shield bearer as expected remains frozen, but the Spectre reappears. But not to worry, we have reaction shots lined up, and we're also pretty much guaranteed to only see a shadow bind here.
I know where you are. Aim. They're dead.
Okay, so far so good, our specialist Zucchini has been shadowbound. This does admittedly throw a bit of a wrench into our skull mining plans, but as you know, we can easily just bring him back by killing the Spectre.
I will always find you.
That Spectre then goes into hiding inside of the train, but even in there it can't hide from Julian and his strike attack. For the finishing blow, we can then move in with Ranger Warhawk. Unless the Spectre dodges, the kill here is guaranteed.
Happy now? Toss me some ammo!
Alright, and just like that, Zucchini is back up on his feet, and that means we can continue as planned by skull mining the Advent shield bearer. Okay, I do have the feeling that these skull mining attempts do fail a bit more often than a 70% success chance would suggest. Either way, it looks like we have no other choice but to just eliminate the shield bearer the old-fashioned way. And for that, we first grapple on top of the train with Sapphire West, only to then drop down on the other side. As you can see, we have a guaranteed hit and a 60% chance to crit with her pistol here. And if we switch things over to her sniper rifle, the crit chance even increases to 70%. Admittedly, I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be enough, but I'm willing to try.
Hard target
Alright, as you can see, unfortunately it's not enough, but that is what we have Grenadier Typhoon for. So let's lob a grenade behind the train and ensure another kill. Alright, and with that I would say let's finish this turn on Overwatch. If I'm not mistaken, we only have 4 enemies left.
Menace 1-5, you're almost out of time. The detonator is about to blow.
Now, as Bradford mentions here, we also only have 1 turn left to grab the contents of the package. So let's send in Zucchini's drone now to grab what's inside. We also could have done this with Julian, but Zucchini's hacking stat is much higher. So high in fact that the small cache of alien alloys here is guaranteed. So let's take that over a 67% chance to not get anything. Alright, and with that, the first of 2 mission objectives has been completed. At this point, we only need to clear out the remaining hostiles.
Estoy dentro. Encargo asegurado. Menace 1-5, status confirmed. The charges are inactive and the package is secure. Eliminate any remaining hostiles near the AO.
Alright, and here's how we're going to do that. Keeping in mind the fact that we still have a sector pod roaming around, we will not advance any further. Instead, we'll get comfortable on top of the train here for a lovely high ground advantage. Now that we no longer have any active mission timers, we can simply sit tight and go on Overwatch.
I'll keep an eye on it. I'm on it.
As you can see, that does not reveal anything though, so let's shuffle things around a bit more. Once again, we can absolutely afford to spend several turns doing this.
I won't let them
I'm on it. Scanning. What are the
Got it
odds?
Keep
covered.
an eye on it for you.
Huh?
Looks to me though like the time for the final confrontation has come. The sector pod has arrived and with backup, so let's unload.
Get it together. Advent forces sighted.
You can never escape my sight.
Alright, there we are. After a brutal turn of reaction shots, the sector pod is somehow still standing with 7 hit points. It has also brought with it a shield bearer, stun lancer and a trooper, none of which I imagine will be standing for that much longer. In fact, this here should be a pretty simple cleanup, one that we can begin with another grenade from Typhoon. Right, no kills just yet, but perhaps an unexpected chance to grab another achievement with Julian here. As you can see, he's got a clear line of fire at 3 enemies, so let's activate overdrive and have him fire 3 times. The first shot takes out the sector pod and the second is still guaranteed despite the overdrive penalty.
How many of you have I killed? I'll need to reload soon.
And it even kills the shield bearer. Strangely enough though, all of a sudden we no longer have line of sight at the Lancer, so there is no way for Julian here to hit a 3rd overdrive shot, which he would have needed to unlock the Always Be Shooting achievement. So I guess we'll have to clean things up here in a different way. How about we run and gun with Ranger Warhawk, which then gets him into a great flanking position against the trooper here. At this point, we can then also use his bond with Sapphire West to give Warhawk teamwork, but before he uses that, let's have Zucchini attack the Lancer with Combat Protocol. And with only 6 hit points left, we can now use Warhawk's Slash to finish this fight and wrap up another flawless mission.
Big deal. Status confirmed. All hostiles are down and the area is secure. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
And indeed, there we are. It took us quite a bit of luck to not have a soldier wounded on this mission, but I suppose that's how these things go. After all, it can't always be Julian who misses the easy ones. Either way, let us take another triumphant picture and then return home to the Avenger.
Advent officials announced an increase to this month's recruitment quotas. Citizens are encouraged to voluntarily visit their nearest recruitment center. Remember, only together can we build a better tomorrow.
Let's hope they all go that smooth, Commander. Great work.
Alright, here we are, home sweet home. As you can see, Sapphire West also cracked the mark of 100 kills this mission, while we have a promotion to take care of with Specialist Zucchini. And just like in the previous 3 ranks, we are going down the path of Combat Hacker with him. After all, he has proven very capable in that role today, so let's give him a threat assessment at the rank of Captain here. In the loot screen you can then also see that we recovered 2 expanded magazines and a hair trigger. I suppose those were dropped by the stun lancer we killed last. But most importantly, we have recovered our very first turret racks, and apparently not only that, looks like we have also added an Archon and a sector pod to our collection.
You and your crew have dealt another serious blow to the aliens' efforts today, Commander. Impressive work.
And let's not forget about what could very well end up being the best reward of all of them, as we have now successfully recruited the services of Major Louis Mignault, I hope that is how it's pronounced. This one submitted by Patreon supporter Brian, and let's take a closer look at our new ranger right now. Nicknamed Mig, Louis comes to us with the following biography. He was born in rural Quebec and joined the Canadian Royal 22nd Regiment. During the alien invasion, he developed a hatred of sectoids and their mind tricks, and he was known for attacking them while ignoring closer aliens. Since the invasion, he was part of the resistance in the Maritimes until being recruited by XCOM. And with Mig looking all nice and stealthy here, I think I have a good build for him in mind. We are going to completely skip the whole melee aspect of the Ranger for this one, and instead we'll build him up as a stealthy scout with a focus on his gun. Phantom, Shadow Step, Conceal and Implacable make him extremely maneuverable, and Untouchable ensures that he stays safe at the end of it, provided of course he can kill something. Now you may have noticed that Louis here also has 20 ability points to spend, so our next stop is the training center, where we will first take a closer look at his randomly selected bonus abilities. 3 of them are already revealed: Volatile Mix, Deadeye and Guardian. And with Rangers neither throwing plenty of grenades nor going on Overwatch a whole lot, I think let's grab Deadeye here, because why not? I think it's always fun to play around with these bonus skills, and even if the aim penalty here is minus 25%, we should hopefully be able to negate that with good positioning and perhaps a weapon attachment. With the remaining 9 points and a few from the XCOM pool, we're then also going to grab Run and Gun, because I simply cannot have a Ranger without it, and this also neatly ties into the whole theme we have going on here, with Mig being a maneuverable menace. And with that, I think we have also already reached the end of today's episode. This time around we did not really make a whole lot of progress, but the length of the mission is to blame for that, I think. Still, we have acquired another soldier who is most likely itching for some action, and who in his stealthy ways could very well replace one of our Reapers. I guess you'll have to see exactly how we employ him in the next episode. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. As always, if you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.